Going back in my personal professional history to even before I had started 3C Communications, one of the favorite things I've done throughout my career is work with early stage companies to share what I know about helping them get investment. Sometimes I'm working with partners, sometimes I'm working one-on-one, sometimes I'm working through the great team we have at 3C, but helping people figure out the narrative that they can share that's going to get an investor interested in them and bring in the money to make their dreams come true is just a favorite thing for us. It lights us up. Because really, we've got a lot to offer as professional communicators, because telling the story of your business is the purest form of storytelling. It's close to your heart. It's something that makes you light up, and you can bring all of that enthusiasm to this presentation, and it's something you're going to know deeply, so you're going to be rock solid on the facts and the emotion that you want to bring. Let's talk about storytelling. When we teach storytelling classes or we work with clients on helping them develop stories that fit within a narrative, we talk about all of the archetypal stories, right? The story where there's a villain and there's a hero and there's a destination that the hero is trying to get to, and he or she has to get through challenges and obstacles and monsters in order to reach that destination and vanquish that villain. And what is that if not the tale of you and your early stage company? What's the villain? The villain is the problem statement that you're going to begin with. The villain is the status quo, or it's the problem that people are having. It's your problem statement. It's the thing that your solution, your product or your service, your company is gonna solve. Who's the hero? That's easy. It's you and your team, and it's the solution that you're going to bring to market. What's your destination? Your destination is the destination that you're going to take your angels and your venture capital potential investors to. It's where you're going to take the market, where there is a solution and the world has changed because of your solution, because of the team that built it, because of the patents that you protected it with, because of where you've managed to get it. Right? What are the challenges and the obstacles? What are the monsters that you've got to slay as you go through this journey that you're going to ask your investors to take with you? Well, there's competition. There's the technology that you need to get right if you're a tech company. There's a wide variety of things that you know you've got to get over where their money can help you and you can make that case. Investors want to mitigate risk, right? They're looking at you as a potential way to get a sizable return on their investment, and all that stands between them and that return on investment is you and your team and the risks that you have to get past in order to grow a business that's going to return capital to them. 3 primary types of risk that you're going to want to explain how to mitigate when you are presenting in a pitch competition or to angels or to venture capital firms. There's market risk. What if this market doesn't develop? How are you going to make sure that it does? What if the problem isn't as big of a problem, or what if there's other solutions like competition? There's product risk. What if your product is off by a few degrees from what the market wants? How are you going to make sure that the product you develop or the service that you create isn't going to be a few degrees off, but that's going to hit right smack in the center of what your target audience wants? And then, of course, there's execution risk. Okay, the market might be ready and waiting. You might even have the right product, but can you bring it to market effectively and quickly enough? Can you make sure, if it's a hard good, that you're going to get the right product to the right place at the right time in order to have consumers ready and waiting for it? If it's a business service, can you scale in your delivery so that you can get multiples of your investors' investment back to them? Market risk, product risk, and execution risk. Those are the challenges, those are the monsters that you need to prove you can slay. And then, of course, as you get towards the end of your story that you're telling to this captive audience who might want to invest in you and your idea, you get to do an epilogue. Once you've shown them this bold, bright new future, that's going to feature your solution front and center, you get to tell how you're going to grow and expand from that early market that you are going to hit. Hero, villain, destination, challenges along the way, and then a nice epilogue to wrap it all up. 12 to 14, maybe 16 slides, a presentation that you can give elevator style in 5 minutes, or in an extended presentation, say in a boardroom of a VC firm for maybe 20, 25 minutes. You are going to have the perfect pitch deck built if you follow this scheme. We've got a list of 12 to 14 slides that we typically work on with a client of ours. Sometimes we add a few to tell the story a little bit more deeply. Sometimes we take away a few if it's one kind of company or another, but basically there's some small number of things that every investor wants to know, and you don't generally need to go beyond that. Now let's get into the specifics. What kinds of things are investors looking for from you when you're out there pitching to them? You've got to be able to tell them who you're going to reach and how you're going to reach them. What is the total addressable market for people who have a problem like the one you're looking to solve? And out of that huge market, because you've got to show you've got a big market out there, what's your target within it? Because you're not going to sell to everybody right off the bat, whether you're business to consumer or business to business. You're going to want to find a narrow definition of who your market is, and you're going to create, at least until you have some sales under your belt and can talk about an aggregation of the folks who are actually buying from you, you're going to want to create a persona of who's your likely buyer. Is it working dads over 30? Is it teens and tweens? Is it companies in the $50 to $100 million range who are in the financial services business? Find a nice, narrow definition of who you're going to target first and be ready to target them ruthlessly and explain to your potential investor how you're going to do it. What are they reading? What are they watching? Who are they listening to? And how are you going to get at them? Your investors are going to want to see standard metrics for knowing a business is operating well. They're going to want to know your customer acquisition cost and what you're doing to bring it down over time. They're going to want to know your customer churn. For those customers who come in and become customers of yours, how many of them leave and don't stick with you after they've become customers once? And what's the total lifetime value you can expect from the customers that you do bring in on an average, knowing that some are going to fall off and some are going to shoot the moon with you? Those are just 3 examples for your particular industry, for your particular product set, for your particular solution, your particular service set. You're going to think of others. You're going to want to be very well versed in those. And then I like to point out that your presentation skills count. Right? The old adage that investors don't invest in ideas, they invest in people. When you get up to give your presentation to explain why someone should put money into your company's bank account so that you can expand and return them money on their investment, they're going to look to you. They're going to look to you to run the team. They're going to look to you to show confidence. They're going to look to you to give a presentation that makes them want to say, yes, I'll invest in you, because they know you're the one who's going to be giving the presentation to your prospective customers or partners that's going to get them to say, yes, I'll do business with you. I don't need to tell you that we at 3C Communications can help both develop the story and help you tell it, not to mention create the slides. But right now, I hope you'll jump over to the channel set up on Founders Live for our live Ask Me Anything session. And if you're watching this on replay, have a great holiday season, or hope you had great holidays, and we'll see you again in January. Thanks.